welcome to Writer's Ring Crochet. Today we're working on this Harry Potter baby costume. Thank you for joining us. I will put the Etsy link attached below. So let's go ahead and get started. Well, thank you for joining me today to do this Harry Potter baby costume outfit. Today we will be doing the diaper cover, the scarf, and the Nimbus 3000 broomstick. The hat, the sorting hat, is in its very own videos. The sorting hat is very, very difficult. And so it is, I will put the links to the videos if you guys want to make the sorting hats, but I will not be going over that in this set of videos. So this this pattern comes in 0 to 3 months and 3 to 6 months. I'm going to go ahead and do the 3 to 6 month pattern, but I will give you the instructions for the 0 to 3 months as well if you guys wanted to make a smaller one. So let's go ahead and start with a 3mm hook. And if you are doing the 0 to 3 months, you are going to chain 60. For the 3 to 6 months, we are going to chain 70. I'm going to meet you at the end of the chain. Okay, so we chained 60 or 70, whichever size you are doing, and we are going to go ahead and chain 2. Most of this diaper cover is in half double crochets. You are going to want to chain 2 at the end of every round after you turn. Sometimes you can chain 1 and use half double crochet with a chain 1, but you're really going to want to do a chain 2. So now what we're going to do is go ahead, and this is going to be then in the third chain from the hook, and we are going to proceed to half double crochet all the way down the chain. Now I am going to move through the diaper cover and the scarf. They are fairly easy, and I'm going to be working them fairly quickly so that we can spend the bulk of the time that you're with this video doing the amigurumi broomstick. So go ahead and chain all the way down, and then I will meet you at the end of the row. Okay, so I made it to the end of the row, and I do apologize about the color of this yarn. This maroon just is not showing up very well. But the diaper cover itself is pretty easy, so I'm going to go ahead and just explain it to you guys as we go, and you will get the gist of it. So go ahead, we want to definitely make sure that we chain 2, remember, and then we're going to turn our work. Let's go ahead and do another row of half double crochets, and then on our third row we will determine buttonholes if necessary. Okay, I will see you at the end of round 2. All right, well, I moved my background and we got a little bit of light out of this, so it looks a little bit better than it did. I usually use, one of those drying mats for your dishes because it's padded, and then my wrists sit on it. It feels so much better. Okay, so also while I got you guys here, for all of the pattern except for the hat, you can use a 4-ply yarn and your 3mm hook. But when it comes to the hat, if you guys plan on using the hat, if you want it to be a baby size, you're going to need to go to a 3-ply or a baby yarn. It's just too big, and you'll see when you get to the video. But I thought I'd give you guys a heads up on that so that you were prepared if you were going to move on to the baby hat after this, or onto the sorting hat after this. All right, so chain 2, and we're going to turn our work. Now, this row is where we put our buttonholes in. if you're going to make buttonholes. I do not like doing that because it kind of just sets the size, and you can't really do anything about it. So here we go again with my lighting, because now it's grabbing the yellow. Okay, it's just gonna be one of those days, ladies and gents. Okay, so what I do is I get some Velcro, and this is self-adhesive Velcro. I go ahead and throw some glue on it too. This Velcro and this glue are like my staples for my crochet projects. I love them both so dearly. So I just go ahead and cut a piece and I glue it on so that we make sure it's on, instead of doing buttonholes. And this way, one, as you can see, it sticks well enough to the yarn all by itself. You don't have to use the soft part of the Velcro, that side. This is just the rough side. But this way you can adjust this as needed and as that baby grows, or you can get a nice snug. You can fold this down if you need. It just gives you a little bit more options than going ahead and doing the buttonhole. So, but that's up to you guys. A lot of people really enjoy their buttons. So I'm going to go ahead and give you the instructions for the buttons. If you are choosing not to do buttons, then we're going to go ahead and just do another row of 60 or 70, whichever size you're on, half double crochets. For the buttonholes, you're going to do 4 half double crochets, and 4, and then you're going to chain 1 and you'll skip 1, and then you will half double crochet across, and you will do either 50 for the small and 60 for the larger. And then once you're at the end here, you're going to chain 1 and skip 1, and you will have 4 half double crochets at the end as well. And then after that, you're going to do another chain 2, turn your work, another row of half double crochets. So when we meet back here, buttonholes or not, you guys are going to have 4 rows total of half double crochets. This is 1, this is 2, the buttonhole is 3, and then a solid half double crochet row, which will make 4 rows. And I will meet you guys back here at the end of your 4th row. Okay, so we are at the end of our 4th round. Whether you guys put buttonholes or not, it doesn't make a difference. Go ahead and just chain 1 and turn. Now on this end, let's go ahead and count up 12 stitches. And put your stitch marker on the 12th stitch. Okay. And then on this end, let's see if we can get up a little higher here. We're going to go ahead and slip stitch over 12. And 12. Wonderful. So now we're even. Our stitches here. So let's slip stitch over just 1 more. And then we're going to go ahead and chain up 2 and put a half double crochet back into the same stitch like this. Okay. So what we're going to end up doing is going back and forth and back and forth. We're going to decrease, and then we're going to come back up and we're going to increase again. So what I did to make this a little easier, a little easier, is I made this little chart here. This is our decrease going down into the crotch area of the diaper cover. So if you're doing 0 to 3 months, your first row is going to be 36 stitches, and that should be, there's 1 to right before your stitch marker. That should be 36. You'll chain 2, turn your work. And as you can see here, then your row 3, what you're going to do is you're going to reduce on both sides. let me go ahead. I am doing the 0 to 6 months. So right here on my very first row, I am reducing to 44 stitches. So let me give that a shot here. Okay, so I reduced on both sides because I'm doing the, not 0 to 6, that is a 3 to 6. So sorry. 0 to 3, 3 to 6. Give you guys all sorts of confusion here. And I finished my first row with reducing on both ends. So what I suggest that you guys do, honestly, is just to count every row. I tried using stitch markers, and then that was just so time consuming, because the one thing you don't want to do is miss this turned stitch right here and the turning chain, because it's really going to mess you up if you by chance miss that, because of so many reducing and increasing that we got to do on the diaper cover. So go ahead and follow. I'm just going to leave this right here so you guys can take a nice screenshot of it, or just pause the video and use this as your guide. Of course, the highlighted are the when we reduce, and it also has the counts that you should be doing. So on the row 1, I reduce, and then I count all the way to my last 2. That would be 43. I reduce down to 44. Right now I chain 2. I'm going to half double crochet 44. Go ahead and work this, and I will meet you guys back once we are all the way down to either 20 stitches or 24 stitches in the center of the diaper cover. Again, I know I'm leaving you guys a lot on your own on some of the simpler stuff, because it's just going to be too much. There's no use in you guys being stuck to me when you could print this and, you know, go watch a movie or something. Okay, so I'll see you guys in a little while. Good luck. Okay, so we've made it all the way down, and so now we're going to start and we're going to increase. So now we're going to use this side of the page here, and of course this is the 0 to 3, and this is the 3 to 6. And if you guys want to go ahead and put a stitch marker in so that you know where row 1 is, I've just been marking them as I go, see? So that's been kind of helpful, doing it that way. So now we're going to increase. So my first row, of course, is just going to be my 24 half double crochets across. And when we increase, we're just going to put 2 stitches in the first and the last stitch of the row. And I will meet you guys back here once you guys get a couple more rows done and we start going back up, where you will land on 28 stitches or the 3 rounds of our 34 stitches. And I will see you guys then. Good luck. Okay, guys, good job. I know that took a long time, didn't it? Anyway, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we want to do 1 single crochet all the way around our project. And then when we get back together, I will show you guys how to do the trim here. Whenever, even if your project doesn't say it, always, if you don't have a finished edge to be crocheting to, so for example, coming up this side here like this is not a finished edge. So what we want to do is we always want to tie in our main color, so that when the stitches aren't lined up perfectly, it will be camouflaged by that color. A lot of times patterns don't say that. They just say to go do the trim, and it just doesn't look this nice at all. It's not sharp. So go ahead and go around your project with single crochets, and go ahead and put 3 single crochets in the corners here. And we're going to have you do 1 single crochet round all the way around the diaper cover. And then we, after that, I'll show you guys how to do the rope trim, which just looks so cute on this diaper cover. So I will see you guys back then. Now, if for some reason there's a part of your project that doesn't look good, for example, that other one there was a factory knot made in it, and I had to trim it down, and I had to put a little bit of glue on it so that it didn't unravel. So I just wanted to make sure, do you see that? That was just a big fuzzy knot from the factory. So I just wanted to spritz a little bit of glue. Sorry, the color does that on this. Sorry about that. Make sure that you're trimming it so that the right side of your project is facing you as you single crochet around, the side that you want everybody to see. Okay, and I am going to meet you guys back here once you finish single crocheting all the way around. Okay, there we go, guys. Now we got a nice single crochets all the way around, and now we're going to go ahead. I just like to attach it in the back, in the middle, and we're going to do, it's called a crab stitch, or it's actually a backwards single crochet is what it is. So go ahead and chain one, and if you can, tuck your yarn as you go. You may not be able to when you first kind of get started. So we're just going to go in backwards, and we're doing a single crochet. That's all that we're doing. It is going to take, if you haven't done this before, it takes a little bit of time to get used to, but once you get it down, you'll get it down, and it won't be so bad. So what's really nice about this is that it looks like a rope, which is really neat. I have one other project, I think, my Western one, I think, that has this around, and I like it a lot. So see how that looks? Pretty neat, huh? Okay, so you guys go all the way around. You do not need to do any extra stitches here in the corners at all. Just go ahead and just keep going in every single crochet all the way around, and then we will just attach it here, and then we can move on to our scarf. Okay, good job, guys. Okay, so I went ahead and glued on some Velcro there on both sides, and I'm just going to let that dry before I stick it. But now we've got our diaper cover is done, and this will fold in this like this. The reason why I don't go ahead and stick it is in case some of the glue accidentally seeps out from under this. I don't want it to actually glue to the front because this is really good glue, and it's great for putting material together as well. So it's going to stick to this yarn. So I want to apologize for moving so quickly, but the broomstick itself is going to take quite some time. So there was no use in wasting anybody's time on something that was simple. Okay, so on to the scarf. So the scarf was pretty rigid. That is in the pattern, what she has, you do in the pattern. So I kind of just winged it to make it a little bit more flexible and baby friendly for smaller sizes. It was actually like this, which is real, like it was pretty serious. And so I don't think that was going to work so well. So let's just, you can do the pattern, of course, if you pick that up, but I went to a 5mm hook, so I have some more airy, so it's more bendable. And then I chained 10, and then in the second chain from the hook, I did a double crochet, and I double crocheted all the way down. And then I just did 4 rows of each color. And I will show you once we get in here to where I'm swapping colors again. And I can kind of show you. Go ahead and just pull your yarn up. I'm going to show you on this one real quick. We're going to go ahead and just take this yarn and bring it up here, because then when we crochet this border on, it's going to cover that up. And we will just tuck the yarn so there'll be like a bad side, a not so pretty side of the scarf. And it's not a major deal because it's not like this baby is walking around in this scarf. It is for photo op purposes only, really. So that's just the best way. If you guys want to cut it and sew all these ends in, that is fine. I would be doing that if I was making this for a child or an adult, for somebody who is actually going to wear this. But this is not meant to be like worn all day long. So we want one side definitely to look really sharp, but we want to make it easier on ourselves. But like I said, if by chance you were doing this like as a scarf for a child to wear, of course we wouldn't want this backside looking like this. Even though it's all tucked, it's still just not as nice as we could make it look. So I will go ahead and see you guys. As you can see, I did 4 rows of each color, and it's about 80 centimeters long. And then I went ahead, and if you want, you can go ahead and put the tassels on as well, on the ends. Again, I'm not going to spend too much time on this. This is a very simple, very simple project. And that way you guys can kind of wing it the way you want. And then when we meet back together, we're going to go ahead and focus on the broomstick itself. Okay. All right, guys, good luck. Thanks. And again, I'm sorry that I'm moving on this so fast, but we've got a lot of time going to be invested in our broomstick. So there you go. Good luck. Okay, and I'm on my last set. So I just made sure that the beginning was maroon, and then I landed also with a maroon. And then I'll show you guys how to get this thing. See how I just kind of pulled these up and had them sit? So I always made sure they weren't too tight when I started again. So here's how we can trim this out and look real nice. So go ahead and chain 1. We're going to single crochet now. And actually, how about I show you guys the hard way first, huh? And then we're going to go ahead. We want to put 3 single crochets in each corner. So we can make this, you don't have to, you can put 2 if you'd like. So let's go ahead and we're going to crochet down. And right now we have nothing to tuck because we just did our maroon. And hopefully you guys have done this before, and this is going to be easy for you guys. But for those of you who have not, so when I get to a spot like this where that double crochet is such a big hole right there, I try really hard to split it so it doesn't make the hole any bigger, if that's possible. And then what we do now is we're going to come up, and you got to be careful not to flip your yarns as you go because it has a tendency to do that. And then bring in the yellow, and we tighten this maroon back up. And then we're going to tuck the maroon. So now I have 2 maroons, right? The working one that I'm holding on to and the one that I had to pull up from before. And so what we want to do is tuck both of these and then go ahead and single crochet over them, just like when you single crochet over a tail. In this way, what this is going to do is give us an opportunity to have the trim match the color stripe that we're on. I did try doing it with one color, and it really just didn't look so good. Your biggest challenge is going to be to make sure that you keep the working yarn, the one that you guys are still working on, nice and tight so that it doesn't get bubbled in there. And we're just going to go ahead and go down the line here. And then once we get, of course, to the end of the yellow, we're going to drop the yellow and we'll pull the maroon through. And now we have 2 yellows to tuck, right? And then we make sure that the yellows are nice and tight. And then we proceed by tucking these 2 yellows. You guys kind of see what I'm doing? There is no right or wrong reason. You really don't want 2 stitches in every single double crochet, but you don't want 1 stitch in every single double crochet. So just try to space it nicely, but see how that trims out really well. It doesn't look amazingly awesome on this side because you're still going to have a peekaboo yarn back there. But as we talked about earlier, this is more of a photo thing than it is somebody wearing on a day-to-day basis. So you're just going to make sure that this one side looks super sharp. Again, this is your working yarns. Make sure they're nice and tight. The worst, what can really mess this up is if you forget, you mess it up and then you have a big bubble right there. So then we're just going to go all the way around. And now, of course, when you get to this side, you can drop your yellow here and do maroon. Oh, I'm sorry. Make sure you're bringing your yellow on this side all the way around so that you can alternate back and forth down this side. And then when we get back, I'll show you how I do the fringe. Okay? Good luck. Okay, so we're coming up to the corner. Make sure that we're bringing that yellow with us as we proceed around. So let's get up here. And I got 1, 2, 3. And see how I still have that yellow tucked. And as I come across these straggler ends here, I'll go ahead and tuck those in there as well. Takes a little bit of finger work and pinching and manipulating that yarn, but we're going to get it. And 1, 2, 3. And so every so often, make sure you guys are flipping your work and you're looking at the back and making sure that you didn't make any mistakes. And okay, and here we go. We're going to go down this side now. And I'm tucking, and then I'll meet you guys at the end. It's looking good. Good job. Okay, so we made it. We did it. We look really good here. So now we're going to do the fringe at the end. And I got these. This is where my dog's balls come in. Because my dogs are pit bulls, and my gosh, they can eat a tennis ball in half in a matter of minutes. These are the best balls I've found. And they have like an extra large and a large. And these are perfect for making any kind of tassels or pom-poms or things like that. So I'm going with a smaller one. The bigger one, of course, I would use for like a woman's sweater or something like that. And then you want to go ahead and wrap this. So this is about, oh, I don't know, 4 inches. You can also turn it this way if you want them longer, but you shouldn't need them. So a half of this is how long that fringe will be. And I'd wrap this maybe about 20 times. Sorry, I'm at the wrong angle here. And so what's nice about these that I like versus a regular book or whatever, where you have to try to cut right here, is that you actually have this hole. So if you guys ever get your dog a ball, keep this. They last for a long time. And then we can just cut it right in the middle here. Or you can go ahead and attach a another string to it right there and tie it in a knot. And you've got a pom-pom. Man, it's so fast. It's so easy. It's a godsend. I love those little cards. Amazing, right? What they say, on one man's garbage is another man's treasure. So then I'm sure you guys have done this before, but I'm going to go ahead and show you. So just pick a couple, 2 strands of the different color. Some of them can be the same color. We're going to fold it in half, and then we're going to attach it to this last trim row. And I suggest you just attach it the same on both sides. And I will explain that to you here in just 1 minute. So as you can see how the little knot part is on the top? But if we are to do it, if we do it this direction, it's going to look different. The knot will be on this bottom. So you just want to be consistent in the direction you go. And I'm just going to go down this row, and I'm going to go ahead and put, oh, that must be my slip stitch. Go ahead and put your fringe on. And I'm going to meet you guys back here. And when we get back, we are going to start our broomstick and get that completed and get this video wrapped up. So take yourself a good break, and I'll see you in a minute. Okay, guys, I got the tails of the fringe done. I trimmed it up. Hopefully this video was not too fast for you. I'm very sorry. Again, it was just too simple a stuff to waste all your time, because our part 2 is going to be our Nimbus broomstick, and that's going to be the entire hour, 40 minutes or so of that video. So anyway, hope to see you guys on part 2, and like always, like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, bye bye.